In a time when people's hearts were covered in darkness and their minds were filled with ignorance, a divine light appeared in Arabia, breaking through hopelessness like the first sunlight over a vast desert. The world was full of injustice, where cruel rulers controlled people with great power, and the voices of the weak were silenced under heavy oppression. Mecca, though a holy place, had become a city of idols. Its streets were busy with traders, fighters, and poets. But true guidance was missing. At this time of moral decline, Allah, in His endless mercy, sent His last messenger, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, as a shining light of truth, love, and divine wisdom. He cared for the poor, stood strong against injustice, and melted even the hardest hearts with His deep kindness. His presence was like rain on dry land, bringing life to forgotten souls, reminding people of their Creator, and restoring respect to those who had been ignored. His wisdom ended ignorance like the rising sun, and His justice brought fairness to a broken world. Even after more than 14 centuries, His light has never faded. His message of peace, faith, and unity still brightens the hearts of millions, helping them through life's difficulties. He was and will always be a mercy to the worlds. In the 6th century CE, Arabia was a land of great differences. Huge deserts that were both harsh and beautiful, home to strong but divided people. Tribal fights were common, honor was based on wealth, and justice was in the hands of the powerful, leaving the weak to suffer in silence. At its center was Mecca, a holy city because of the Kaaba, built by Prophet Abraham and his son Ishmael as a place for worshiping one God. But its holiness had faded, idols filled its courtyard, and its people had moved away from the faith of their ancestors. The city was rich with trade, but beneath its success were corruption, greed, and cruelty. Women had no rights, baby girls were buried alive, and slavery was everywhere. Kindness was rare, and pride ruled over hearts. Yet even in this darkness, hope remained. The noble family of Abraham still existed, and some hearts still searched for the truth. A great plan was taking shape, ready to remove ignorance and wake up humanity. In this very city, a new beginning was about to start. Born in 570 century CE in the respected Quraysh tribe, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, entered the world already facing sadness. His father, Abdullah, passed away before he was born, leaving his mother, Amina, to care for him alone. But life had more challenges for him. When he was just 6 years old, his mother also passed away, making him an orphan. After this, his kind and loving grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, took care of him and loved him dearly. However, 2 years later, his grandfather also passed away, and young Muhammad was placed under the care of his uncle, Abu Talib, who protected and raised him like his own son. Even with these difficulties, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, grew up with great strength and kindness. He did not let sorrow make him weak or hardship make him unkind. Instead, he became known for his honesty, patience, and humility, and people deeply respected him. At a time when cheating and lies were common, he was different, always truthful and trustworthy. Because of this, he was given the title Al-Amin, the trustworthy, a name that people spoke with love and respect. Traders trusted him with their business, knowing he would never cheat them. The poor and the weak found comfort in him because he was always fair and kind. Even before he became a prophet, his noble character made him special, preparing him for the great mission that was to come. In the quiet cave of Hira, under the vast star-filled sky of the Arabian desert, an extraordinary moment took place. At 40, Muhammad, peace be upon him, known for his honesty and love of solitude, felt a powerful presence. The silence was broken by a mighty divine voice. The words struck like thunder, shaking him deeply. Trembling, he gasped for breath, his heart pounding with awe and fear. He had entered the cave seeking peace but left with a message that would change the world. Stumbling down the rocky mountain, still shaken by what had happened, he found comfort in the arms of his wife, Khadijah. May Allah be pleased with her. With love and wisdom, she reassured him, reminding him of his noble character. Even before he fully understood, she knew he had been chosen for something far greater. But Mecca was not ready for the truth he brought. The Quraysh, the city's powerful leaders, saw his message as a threat to their wealth and traditions. At first they laughed at him, but as his followers grew, their laughter turned to anger. Persecution spread through the streets. Believers were beaten, chained, and dragged through the burning desert sand. Sumayya, may Allah be pleased with her, refused to give up her faith and became Islam's first martyr, killed by a spear. Bilal, may Allah be pleased with him, a slave who embraced Islam, was crushed under heavy stones, yet he endured, calling out, Ahad, Ahad, Allah is one. The Quraysh tightened their grip, cutting off the Muslims from food and trade, hoping to break them. But despite hunger and hardship, their faith only grew stronger. What was meant to destroy them instead made them unshakable. The storm of oppression raged, but it could not silence the truth. A new dawn was coming, one that would shine across the world. The journey to Medina was a major turning point in Muhammad's, peace be upon him, mission, changing Islam from a persecuted faith into a growing community. Leaving behind the hostility of Mecca, he and his followers found safety in a city that accepted his message with open hearts. He was no longer just a preacher calling people to believe in one God. He became a leader and a guide, bringing together different and often fighting tribes under one vision of justice, faith, and unity. One of his most important achievements was the Constitution of Medina, a groundbreaking document that protected the rights, safety, and peaceful living of all people. Medina became the first Islamic state where Islam was not just a belief but a complete way of life. The Prophet's, peace be upon him, teachings shaped leadership, business, and social values, creating a culture of honesty, kindness, and responsibility. Under his leadership, Medina prospered. Markets were set up with fair trade rules, problems were solved with wisdom, and charity was encouraged to help the needy. With patience and determination, the Prophet, peace be upon him, built a fair and welcoming society where equality flourished, brotherhood was valued, and strong morals guided every action. His leadership was not based on force, but on wisdom, diplomacy, and deep trust in justice. From Medina, the message of Islam spread far beyond the deserts of Arabia, touching hearts across many lands and generations. What started as a small group became a strong movement that changed history, inspiring civilizations with its values of justice, peace, and unity. Even in battle, the Prophet's, peace be upon him, heart remained full of mercy. He fought not to conquer but to bring justice, always choosing peace over war. In Badr, a small group of believers won against a much larger army, proving that faith, not numbers, leads to victory. In Ahad, despite losses, the Muslim community learned patience, strength, and discipline. Through the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, the Prophet, peace be upon him, showed wisdom, choosing peace instead of war, a decision that helped Islam spread widely. Beyond the battlefield, his victories were not just in war, but also in morals and society. The Battle of Khandak, the trench, was won not by fighting, but by strategy and teamwork, showing that intelligence and persistence are just as important as strength. The victory at Khyber ended oppression and brought justice, ensuring fair treatment for all. Islam also spread to faraway lands like Abyssinia and later Persia and Byzantium, not by force, but through the honesty and good character of Muslims, their fairness, and their commitment to justice. At the same time, Islamic teachings shaped a society based on kindness, equality, and devotion. The practice of regular prayers, salah, built discipline and a deep connection with God. Zakat, charity, ensured that wealth was shared with the poor, creating a caring society. Trade and business were guided by honesty and fairness, while rights for women, orphans, and the poor changed social justice for the better. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was not just a leader in war. He built a strong and just society. Though the early years of Islam were full of hardships, each challenge made the believers stronger, uniting them under the Prophet's, peace be upon him, wise leadership. In 630 CE, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, returned to Mecca, not with revenge, but with kindness. He entered the city that had once forced him to leave and harmed him, not as a ruler looking for payback, but as a messenger of peace and fairness. The same people who had worked against him refused to accept his message, and fought against his followers now stood before him, afraid of punishment. Yet with incredible kindness and mercy, he forgave them. His first action was to clean the Kaaba from idols, making it once again the sacred house of worship for one God, just as it was in the time of Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. With his own hands, he removed the false gods, announcing that only Allah deserves to be worshipped. This moment was not just a military success. It was a victory of truth over lies, of patience over suffering, and of kindness over hatred. The people of Mecca, seeing his greatness, accepted Islam in large numbers, their hearts touched by the fairness and compassion of the Prophet, peace be upon him. This important event completed his mission and started a new chapter. The city that had once fought against Islam now became its heart, bringing people together under justice, equality, and faith. The Prophet, peace be upon him, built a system where peace and fairness ruled, making sure that no one, Muslim or non-Muslim, was treated unfairly. It was not just a win over land, but a win over hearts, proving that real strength is not in war, but in faith, forgiveness, and doing what is right. On the wide plains of Arafat, under the open sky, in the last moments of his life, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, stood before a large gathering and delivered his farewell sermon, a message not just for those present, but for all of humanity, for all time. His voice, strong yet full of kindness, spread across the valley. O people, your blood and your wealth are sacred, just as this day and this city are sacred. He reminded them that no person is better than another except through righteousness, that unity must replace division, and that fairness and kindness should guide society. He spoke about the rights of women, the importance of trust, and the duty to always stand for the truth, setting the foundation for a world based on equality, justice, and compassion. And then in his final words, he handed over this message to us, not just as something to remember, but as a responsibility, a duty to carry his teachings forward, to uphold his values, and to build a world where justice, kindness, and unity thrive. His legacy was not just in his words, but in the way he lived, a call for us to rise, to work hard, and to honor the trust placed in us. Prophet Muhammad's, peace be upon him, mission was to guide people to worship one God, be fair, and show kindness. He did not succeed by using force or power, but through his strong faith, good character, and wise teachings. Many important things made his mission successful forever. The Quran, sent to him by God, is a book of guidance for all time. His good character, with honesty, patience, and kindness, made even his enemies respect him. His message was for everyone, no matter their race, class, or time, bringing people together with faith and good values. He led wisely, making fair decisions in war, peace, and government. Even when he faced hard times, like being treated badly, forced to leave his home, and going to war, he never gave up. His kind and loving nature helped spread Islam, not by force, but by goodness. His strong followers, who believed in his mission, helped share his message with the world. His teachings live on in the Quran, Hadith, and in the actions of those who follow him, giving hope and guidance to all people, now and in the future. His name lives in the hearts of millions and is heard in every call to prayer around the world. His influence goes beyond time, cultures, and generations, touching people everywhere. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a man of strong faith, patience, and kindness. He did not seek power, but came as a messenger of hope, justice, and guidance from God. His life was full of mercy toward the weak, the oppressed, and even those who were against him. His teachings still show the way to truth, justice, and peace. He was more than a leader. He was a teacher, a reformer, and a guiding light for all people. Sent as a mercy to the world, his legacy remains strong, his message stays the same, and his light continues to shine, leading hearts toward goodness, kindness, and faith.